Well, hello again, YouTube. What's up, homeboys? What up, ladies? Hope you're having a good day. Denny back in the work slash personal truck, all in one. It's actually a Jeep, the Jeep Patriot. I love the Patriot, although I'm not feeling all that patriotic about my home country here of Canada, but don't know if this video will be totally about that. There's it's just not the country I grew up in, and a lot to bitch about, but it's not really what this video will be. I just noticed this. I have these hand wipes. As you know, I work on the road, and I'm at different job sites all the time. This is a great product, Fast Orange hand wipes, and they just rub all the grime off, so you don't always need to find a washroom to wash your hands. Just do that. And it's interesting, this is a product that's at Home Depot and Canadian Tire here in Canada, which is a very popular store. This has hand cleaning towels written in small letters to let you know what it is, because otherwise it just says Fast Orange. Well, what is it? In small letters, hand cleaning towels. In big letters, Spanish and French, telling you what these are, that they're wipes. Paños chiffon. I think that's how you say it in French. So they have the Spanish and the French, big and clear. And the English is in small letters. So we are not in a English-speaking country. It's interesting. I live in a big city here in Canada, and a lot of you that may be in the same type of city, have you noticed that when you're at a mall or a grocery store or anywhere, a busy street, that nowadays most people aren't even speaking English? Like it's you don't even hear English that much anymore. It's kind of crazy. If you just, maybe you aren't conscious of it or thinking about it, but just try to notice that. Like, just looking around you, how many people are actually speaking English. It's a small amount. Again, depends where you live, where you're exactly going. I was in line at my bank the other day, and literally nobody was speaking English, except when you got to the teller, and then they would speak English, and some would have accents, but I ain't hating on that too much. But this video is about, I would ask a rhetorical question, you could say, and that is there a decline in common sense and respect in our society? Has it been getting worse and worse? What have you noticed? Now, I am working as a locksmith, of course, so I'm all over the city, and I get to encounter a lot of people and a lot of places over the course of, any given day, or sometimes it's weeks and months. It adds up, all the places I get around to. And just these little things that are so obvious and just so simple, like I drive to these big parking lots, and someone will pull up right beside me, right next to me, even though there's 5 or 6 spaces each way, and a bunch of random spaces in the parking lot away from me. And I have a ladder on my roof, and it sort of kind of looks like a work truck, so you'd expect people to maybe give you some space. What's annoying is when they pull up too close to me, I have a tool set in the back seat on the side door that I have to open to get my tools out. And if somebody's parked too close, I can't get the door all the way open, and it sucks getting my tools out. Then I gotta watch not to scratch this guy's car or whatever. And then also in the back, I have some equipment and some supplies. So people will pull up close to my bumper, and then I don't have enough room to stand back there to open my hatch and do what I need to do. I don't know why they would need to pull up so close. Again, there's room this way. There's parking stalls in each direction. There's parking stalls behind, but no, they gotta come right up to my vehicle. It just never made sense to me. I would never do that to somebody else pulling in. If there's plenty of room, I would just park at least one stall away, give them that space, just as a courtesy. It's annoying. I understand if it's a full parking lot and there's literally one spot and it's beside me, then yeah, 1 + 1 = 2, right? And it's amazing people don't just consider this stuff and give a guy some space and just think, just think a little bit logically. The other kind of microcosm of this disrespect thing is when I'm working on doors in outside doors, like to a retail space or a strip mall or a big mall or any type of business, the front entrance, usually glass aluminum doors. When I need to work on that door and there's a door right beside it that the customer could use, guess what they do? They always try to go in where I'm working because I have the door propped open. And they always say the same thing, like, can I just sneak past you? Can I sneak by you? I'm just sneaking by you. And I'm like, yeah, you can go ahead, but you're not sneaking, man. You're not being sneaky at all. I could totally see you. I could hear you. And I'm totally obviously annoyed. So you're not sneaking past anything. Even though there's a door right beside me, or sometimes there's double doors and the person can just pull the other handle and walk past you that way instead of trying to wedge their fat ass between my toolbox and the door. So I have to deal with that all the time, and it just kind of wears on you, and you just see it day after day. And only people who work on doors can appreciate what I'm saying. And if you're watching this and next time you're going into a place and you see someone working on the door, try to be a little considerate and go around or use a different entrance, or maybe ask them if it's okay to come past. If I'm doing a bigger project, I'll use yellow caution tape to tape it off, like if I'm going to be there for a long time. I don't know I think I might have. Yeah, just this ribbon stuff. So this works good too if you're happen to be watching this and a door guy. Or anything, if you're working on a project in a busy place, like a mall where it's open to the public, you want to seal off a work area, just use this. That usually does the trick. But even then, like, there's some people that are so disrespectful, they'll go underneath it, or they'll just cut through it. Just like people jaywalk, they don't give a shit. They'll litter and spit on the sidewalk and urinate behind buildings. All this shit is just contributes, just chips away at the decline of society. And I don't know about you, but growing up, it wasn't quite that bad. And I know there's a multitude of reasons and factors that you see these things going on. There's also, like, especially in Canada here, and I'm sure in the US as well, just the massive amounts of unfettered immigration from the third world to our culture. It does change things. I know it's, people are a little uncomfortable talking about that. And I just want to say I don't have anything against people that come here. It's not really their fault. They are getting out of a situation that's probably bad, that they're coming to a much better life. So I don't blame them if our government's allowing it. But the problem is, in this overall idea of social cohesion and respect and living in a better community, having too much too soon of multiculturalism is not helping that cause, because they come here and they're bringing a different language, different customs, different culture, maybe a little bit different behavior, and you're trying to get the people that grew up in Canada and lived a different culture, and you're trying to mesh them and get them to sort of work together. And for the most part, we do coexist, even though the people from the third world, like Africa, India, places like that, they're here and they kind of self-segregate. They have their own little communities and cliques, and they just speak their own language and practice their religion, and just live out their own culture, and they don't interact too much with the rest of the culture, what you'd call Canadian culture. I don't know if that even exists anymore. I don't know what Canadian culture is, other than hockey, which I grew up playing, and maybe a few other things. But there's just so many non-traditional Canadians that are here now, and it's so overwhelming that our identity is kind of lost. It's like we're just this giant hotel, and Canada is giant piece of land, absolutely enormous, and it's not really a small country anymore. I mean, 40 million people, and a lot of our cities are booming and crowded with people from all over the world coming here. So it gets kind of complicated. We're not a cohesive unit, even though we are coexisting, all these cultures. Canadians are generally friendly and open-minded, and we don't we don't raise a stink or a fuss for certain things, and most Canadians probably won't talk about just the massive changing demographics and how that can have maybe a negative effect. It has some positive too. I mean, I've met some wonderful people from overseas, and I don't want to do anything that would sound like bigotry or anything, because I've met some that were absolutely friendly and that I liked. But as an overall sense of community, it does complicate things. And maybe in our communities, like especially in Canada, in US, it's too, like I said, there's no social cohesion. There's not this sense of pride and community, and all having this common, this mutual and common, how do I say, thread, I guess, common thread maybe, of being a Canadian or being an American. People just come here and they get tremendous benefits. We're a very resource-rich country. Tons of opportunities, especially out here, Western Canada, in the prairies, where there's a lot of oil and gas and a lot of booming industries, plenty of jobs. So it's understandable people want to come here. They will live a much higher standard of living than they do overseas, whether it's India, China, the whole African continent, well, sub-Saharan Africa, the Middle East, all these places, they come to Canada, and that's what Canada is made up of, all these different people, but they don't interact with each other. Like the Somali community doesn't hang out with the Arab community. The kind of the white working class suburban crowd doesn't hang out with the some of the inner city Kenyan or Somalian communities. You know, it's all separated, but we're all just on this, sharing this piece of land. So I don't know if that is I mean, obviously it's not having the effect of people coming together, because you know, there's still a lot of crime and a lot of dirt and filth on some of the streets, and a lot of the disrespect that's going on, like what this video is supposed to be about: common sense and respect. So you'll see other challenges, of course, like the drug problems and the crime and the homelessness, and trying to coexist with that is a challenge as well. Our leaders and the people that are supposed to keep the streets safe and keep everything clean are, for the most part, letting this stuff happen. The rude and disrespectful behavior that's kind of commonplace, whether it's anything from jaywalking or, you know, yeah, like I said before, pissing in public, and you know, people just kind of camping out, doing drugs out in the open in front of where children are, and all this stuff just goes on. And it seems like that's very disrespectful to the people that work there and pay taxes in these neighborhoods. As someone that works hard, you would expect that it wouldn't be too much to ask to have a clean and safe neighborhood. But you have crackheads now that are coming through and just contributing to the decay of our society. And we don't do enough to enforce this or get rid of this, or you know, we need to examine root causes, like parenting in the previous generation. What type of people have we raised now? We haven't raised them to be respectful, obviously. People just do what they want. They self-indulge. They commit crime to feed their habits. They get in people's way. And, you know, a lot of like liberal types, they seem to have this compassion for what they call our most vulnerable, which is another kind of language trick, because sometimes our most vulnerable are our most dangerous as well. You get people strung out or on meth or on any type of drugs that are committing crimes, and we're supposed to be all compassionate and look after them. But where is the compassion for the mother that has to walk her kids home from school and has to step over needles or step over shit and piss? And it's like, those are the people I have compassion for. Now, obviously, people struggling with addiction, I do want them to get help. And like I say, we need to examine root causes like parenting and influences, and you know, some of the decisions our politicians are making. Are safe injection sites really helping, or is it just perpetuating the problem? Yeah, it's just so complicated that you know, I don't have the answers. I have a lot of questions. You know, all I want is for people to treat each other with more respect and just use common sense and logical behaviors just to make things a little bit more smooth. So with that said, yeah, I'm sure you people get annoyed by a lot of the little things. And I think little things in itself aren't, you know, gonna necessarily ruin your day or be a problem in your life. Like, you know, I see sometimes people parking in handicap stalls and they don't even have the handicap tags. They're just being lazy or thinking they're just gonna run in and out somewhere quick. And it's just another sign of disrespect. And you know, you get these douchebags with the walking around with the backpacks with the speakers just blaring this like awful hip-hop loud bass thing out in public, just annoying people, just distracting people who are maybe taking their kids for an ice cream, or, you know, going to the strip mall to take their son to karate, and they've got these people coming through that are on drugs and blaring music and pissing on the sides of buildings. All this type of stuff is just we just tolerate it, and it's really sad to see. I'd like to see more people, and me myself included. I'm gonna start calling out some of the more obvious things, like the parking in handicap stalls, or the jaywalking, or just the lazy, illogical, stupid behavior that people do. You know, of course, in a non-aggressive way. It's not worth getting into any altercations over this. But if you just mention this, maybe 1 out of 10 people might say, oh, okay, I understand. I wasn't thinking. I'll maybe next time they think about jaywalking or parking in a handicap or whatever little nuisance they do, maybe they'll think twice and not do it. Maybe you could make your little neighborhood 1% better every year. So yeah, these things just add up over time and creates a society where the hardworking, common sense, respectful, polite people suffer, and the douchebags that are selfish and weren't taught manners and weren't taught respect, they flourish, or they kind of live more stress-free, and it's pretty sad to see. So yeah, once again, thanks for watching. Again, I am still practicing speaking. I didn't get my thoughts out on this video as smoothly as I'd like to. Again, totally off the cuff, unedited, just trying to speak what's on top of mind. And if I forget things, I'll mention on the next video. And yeah, just near the end of my day here, thought I'd share this with you. Hopefully you get something out of it. Ultimately, I don't have the answers. I asked a lot of questions. I may have the answers to some things, and when I do, I will totally share that with you, because at the end of the day, I want to help you, and maybe you could help others as well. That's what I want to use YouTube for, and I hope that there's still a growing community of people like me that are just average, everyday working folks trying to make the world a better place. And consider again subscribing. We want to grow this small YouTuber community rather than have everyone just be forced to watch the big channels with the high productions and all that. I plan on my productions getting better over time. It's just a matter of investing in the equipment, which I have to do slowly because I have to watch my budget these days with the cost of living and me being self-employed. It's difficult. So I'm doing my best with what I have now. It's my phone and some stuff I have at home for YouTube. So yeah, that's it. Thanks again for watching. I wish you a good weekend coming up, and I wish for you what I wish for myself and the people close to me, which is just a clean, peaceful, and respectful community. Thanks again. God bless you. Peace out. Denny, thanks for watching.